It's international break. It's all right. You haven't bored me already. I might bore you, though. I'm not multitasking by using my phone whilst I'm meant to be doing a video. The reason I'm looking at my phone is because of the international break. We've asked you guys to give us ideas for videos. It's barrel scrapings at the moment, by the way. And let's be fair, we can't do another video, surely, about Lopetegui being close to leaving West Ham. Although this one is close. This is from Brian Flowers. First of all, Brian, thank you for sending this in, mate. You actually sent us two. This is the one I have picked. And so I'm going to read it out. Gio's going to give his opinion. Then I'm going to give mine. And probably somewhere in the middle, I'm going to try and convince you to buy a pube shaver. Right, Gio. Hypothetically, if we were to bring in the best manager in the world right now, for example, Pep Guardiola, how much could he get out of the players we have? If Pep took over tomorrow, could he get us Europe by the end of this season? Trying to get your opinion on just how good the players we have are. Thank you, Brian.
It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because if you forget Pep for a second, I do agree that maybe Pep would be, he's the first man that comes to head. But if you forget him for a second, in terms of, I guess the question is in relation to how far can this squad go? How good could this team be? And yeah, I think qualify for European football would be the answer, because is it better or at least compatible to the previous squads we've had over the last 3 years? And the answer is yes. Well, we qualify for European football in those seasons. Granted, other teams have got better, but I think, and it depends, doesn't it? But if we say that it does go down to 8th place, that's what you're aiming for. Or is this team good enough to finish at least 8th in the league? I think the answer is yes. With Pep, weirdly, don't know. And it's because of the players that we've got. Could Pep get us playing like Man City with the midfield we've got? I'm not too sure, really. So yeah, we could do a lot better. We could maybe get European football, but would the squad be right for Pep? No.
I'm gonna be totally honest with you here, Brian. It's no insult to anyone else. I looked through all the questions, and this was my favourite one because I've been giving it a little bit of thought at the moment. And the answer to me, forget the European football. Could Pep come in and get this group of players playing right now? November 2024, still, a little way away from the transfer window. I think yes. So I'm going to give you my vision, what I think Pep would do. But first of all, I think we've got magnificent footballers, absolutely magnificent footballers. We've got a little bit of an issue in central midfield, but Guardiola don't care about such things. Before you knew it, either Wan-Bissaka or Todibo or somebody would be playing in the middle of that pitch, making up for the deficiencies that we clearly have, which is basically everyone else in the league dancing around our midfielders, who have all got their qualities, which I won't bore you with labelling now, but none of them are fast. They're all slow. They're just different increments of slow. Alvarez is quite slow. Souček's very slow, and well, Rodriguez is static, isn't he? So I think we don't have anyone quick enough. I think you get someone in there to give us a little bit of athleticism, a little bit of muscle, because for all Guardiola's qualities as a manager, I still think he's a pragmatist. He still understands how football has to operate. He was obviously a midfielder himself as well. And I think if you could temporarily sort that midfield area out, which is all he would need to do, Pep would just need to get to January, and he would do something. There's no doubt in my mind that there would be a player or two that he would be fully aware of in South America who would just be able to come in and bring the energy. There's been a lot of players who, for instance, have gone through Manchester City's academy, maybe even made a couple of appearances here or there. I'm not talking about Cole Palmer. It was the obvious recent one. But players that have been fullback and have gone and been really good over in Germany or been a midfielder, and they've, you hear afterwards, they were in Manchester City's academy. You necessarily can't make it there because the standard is so high to get in above a Rodri or Gundogan or De Bruyne or whoever. That doesn't mean you're a bad player, and that's just because you're not good enough for Man City doesn't mean you're not good enough to play for West Ham, and certainly the West Ham of the moment as well. So I actually think Guardiola would sort that midfield area out immediately by put in some different players in there, probably defenders, and I think he'd deal with it in January. After you've done that, and this is what I'd be, is probably to for the remainder of the video, is quite how good the current players we have are. I don't think we're far away from being fixed, actually, when I look at some of our players, look at the central defenders, look at the fullbacks. It is striker and midfield. And I think if we sorted that out, we'd be an absolutely magnificent team. I'm interested to know what you think on that, Gio. But before I do, can I please show you my pube trimmer? It's absolutely wonderful. This is the Manscaped 5.0. Significantly better than the Manscaped 4.0. And I'll tell you what, that 4.0 was absolutely brilliant. Never work with shavers and animals on live TV, they say. But I'm actually right now live. I'm going to try and replace this head, get a different bit of head, and pop that on there. What do you call this again? The foil?
Yes.
The foil. I've changed it. So now, oh, blimey, it even resonates at a slightly different frequency. These shavers are brilliant. They even work in the shower, and they got a torch. You get them absolutely soaking wet. Manscaped, the reason we're trying to promote Manscaped is firstly because they paid us to do so, and secondly because they make the best possible male grooming products. They've stayed with us for years, and we're very, very grateful to that. But I've been using male grooming products for a long, long time. This stuff is the best. You want to get any of it, and we've got Christmas coming up. We're giving you 20% off plus free shipping. Go onto the website, the Manscaped website. Links in the description below. When you get to the shopping basket checkout area, it will say, do you have a discount code? You bloody do. I'm going to tell you it now. It's disgusting. Gio made it up. Hammers Chat Pubes, all one word. Genius and disgusting. 20% off plus free shipping. That basically means post. Gio, we got wonderful players, right?
We do. I mean, if Pep Guardiola was a pube trimmer, he'd be the Lawnmower 5. There you go.
Look. He would take the defender. We'll see. He would take that midfielder out. He's just removed Guido Rodriguez.
Johnny Stones.
And there he goes. And he's just popped him in. Look at that. Easy as that.
There you go. Shave your bollocks with a bit of Johnny Stones. Anyway, and what was the question? Sorry, I've got distracted with.
We have magnificent. We've got magnificent shavers, and we've got magnificent footballers at West Ham.
I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't describe it. I think we've got some, but I don't think we've got loads. I think we've got Bowen and Kudus. But we've got some really good players. Okay, Wan-Bissaka is a really good right back. Todibo looks like a really good centre back. Kilman looks like a strong, average Premier League centre back. I know people take offence with that. There's nothing wrong with being that. Emerson can be really good. We've seen it. Alvarez, when he's got his head screwed on, is a good central midfielder. Rodriguez is clearly an intelligent footballer. He's just can't move. Souček's very handy in both 18-yarders. So there's a lot of quality individually in the team, but I don't know, when I look over it and you think about, I spoke about how, 3 years of European football, we spent 150 million, and you look at it now, the makeup of the squad, and it just feels like it's lacking a little bit. When we played Nottingham Forest a couple 2-3 weeks ago now, and when I did my opposition prediction, where I'm trying to guess what the team that Nuno was going to play, and I did the starting 11, then I was looking at the players left over, and I was thinking, Nottingham Forest have got a better bench than us. Our sub-striker was Danny Ings. Theirs was Awoni. I know who I'd rather have. And our sub-fullback was Creswell or Sufal. Take your pick. Theirs was Nico Williams. Again, I know which one of the two I would rather have. I thought he might have started Elliot Anderson, so on the bench would have been Gibbs White. But even though Gibbs White started, on the bench was Elliot Anderson. Ours was Carlos Soler. Again, I know which one I would have wanted in that situation. And I started thinking about it. Hang on a minute. Has Nottingham Forest got a better bench than us here? And my conclusion was, yes, they do. And we were only missing, Kudus, obviously, but also Fulcru. But that was it. We weren't missing anyone else. I thought, how has this happened? And you look at other teams, and you do this whole combined 11 thing, don't you? For a little bit of fun. Not that we do, but you can do it, which you're away to play Newcastle. If you did a team of both squads, which would your 11 look like? And it's usually quite balanced. But I think if you went one further and say, okay, you've got your 11 there, now do the bench, I think you might find you're picking their players a lot more than our players. I think the starting 11 would be quite fair, but beyond that, it gets a little bit. I'll have their ones, thank you very much. And I think that's quite damning a little bit of, if we've spent all this money, how come I don't feel like our squad is that good? Then you look at the teams around us, you look at Brighton and Aston Villa, and you're thinking, well, actually, they've got better benches than we do, regardless of who they put in their starting 11. I mean, yeah, I just get a bit disappointed. Do we have magnificent players? I think we've got some really good individual quality there, certainly. I think Bowen is one of the better right wingers in the Premier League on his day. But yeah, there's a lot of averageness in our team, I think. And
all right, well, just quickly, let me just turn that round a bit. Do you think, because I think maybe what Brian was also suggesting there, Lopetegui's not implemented his style, do you think someone like Pep would immediately rebrand us in that sense? Do you think you'd notice it instantly, and do you think they could improve us? Even forget about European football.
Yeah, I think
immediate reaction.
I think a good manager would improve us pretty quickly, to be honest with you, because at the end of the day, you go through all the players we've just mentioned. Maybe this is why I'm feeling a bit pessimistic in today's video. And it's that old question, isn't it? Which players is he getting the best out of? Max Kilman, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want a manager just getting the best out of the centre back. I'm wanting the attacking players to be at the best.
Yeah.
But that ain't it. Is this the best Jarrod Bowen? No, this is the worst Jarrod Bowen I've ever seen at West Ham. Is this the best Kudus? No, it's not. Is it the best? Paqueta's got stuff going on, so that's a bit unfair. I'm not going to hit Lopetegui with the Paqueta stick. It's partly his fault, partly not his fault. But is it the best Edson Alvarez? No. Is it the best Mikel Antonio? No, but age is against him. But then rectify that in the summer. Bring in somebody that means you aren't relying on a 34-year-old Mikel Antonio. So the question is, which players are at their best under Lopetegui? From West Ham to West Ham, it's none. But then when you look at previous clubs to West Ham, you'd say, well, maybe some of them. Wan-Bissaka, I think we've got the Man U Wan-Bissaka. Kilman, I think we've got the Wolves Kilman. I wouldn't say they've got worse, but I also wouldn't say they've got drastically better. But one thing I thought was I've seen a comment from a subscriber. I wish I could recall who it was. And it was quite a good thing to say. I agreed with it quite a bit. It was a thought trigger. He said, this season, the problem isn't the new signings. It's those that were at West Ham before Lopetegui. And I started thinking about it and thought, Emerson, yeah, he's got a bit worse. Alvarez got worse. Bowen got worse. Paqueta got worse. Antonio got worse. So anyone that's in the team today that was at West Ham last season, they've got worse.
Yeah.
A new manager. Yeah, I think you've just got to be a good man. I don't even... And before anyone's a bit late in the video, we're not suggesting we're going to get Pep Guardiola. It's a little bit of fun, right?
No.
But we don't need to get one of the best to get better. We just need to get a decent manager, and I think we would improve. There's a lot to like about the squad of players. There's just not a lot to like about what we're seeing.
Yeah, and I think that was really Brian's point, which was, basically, are we that bad, or do we have players that could be coached to be better? So, I think hopefully you've had your answer there, Brian. Thanks for sending that in, mate.